And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul.
You got excited with those buttons there, didn't you?
I deliberately calmed down because I know you were like, why are you so hypo? But it's difficult going from, and now, stand and cheer, to you going, hi, my name's John. How are you?
Literally
My name's not John.
the same conversation you had last time.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you, Mark? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, man.
Right. Wow. I tell you what, let's just do this from the off.
Yes.
Someone's done it.
Someone
has done it. I want to know.
No,
Come on,
I want to do that.
You know what we're talking about. Someone dented the crowd. Someone's trying to dethrone the Kings here. So after all this time, and it is bizarre that we were talking on the show, and I said I will eat my hat if the Lions have won it.
See, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say that because I've got a Mavs hat and I respect it.
I still stand by what I said. I think
You're going to eat a hat?
I think the league is over because they've got one loss, and I think they're one game away, and we're a third of the way through the season. Yeah.
Yeah, 12
And
wins,
so
1 loss.
If that trend continues, they're going to end up with about, let's say, 3 or 4 losses, which is what I said. And that is what second place is on now, a third of the way through the season. So they're going to be on around, say, 10, 11, 12. So I do think it's over. However, if they get another loss, I will eat the hat because that makes it interesting.
You're going to eat the hat?
I think, who was it? There's a game coming up.
Yeah, upcoming games. We've got Sheffield Sharks. Against London Lions?
The Lions got to go somewhere.
They're going for the Riders. There's Riders this week.
They got the Riders. Also, they got a Caledonia undefeated in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Bristol Flyers, they're up there. Cheshire Phoenix, they're up there. You know, they got to go to these places, and that's where I think you might see something. And if they pick up another loss, maybe a third loss, that's when I'll say, whoa, I'm eating the hat, season's back on.
I mean,
I don't think it'll happen.
It lends itself. We normally flip it at the end, but if you look at the table at the moment with Plymouth on the bottom with 2 and 10, then Surrey Scorchers 2 and 8, Manchester Giants 2 and 8 as well, then Newcastle 3 and 7. After that, Sheffield, Leicester, Caledonia.
2 to 6. It's like nothing.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
Absolutely. And then Cheshire's just 1 up on the Caledonia now.
It's like 4 points, isn't it? I can't remember. I can't remember what the points were, but I think it's like 4 points between 2nd and 6th.
Yeah. So it's like Bristol are on 8 wins, Cheshire on 7, Caledonia on 6, Leicester on 6, Sheffield on 6. But then it's just all down to how many games they played and how many losses they got. These are going to keep swapping. Yeah, no question.
I think you're right. But look, Mark,
the more people that can dent London as well. I mean,
you cannot. We got to talk about the Plymouth City Patriots.
Would you say
Pat Wrights must have been happy?
Would you say Pat was the direct influencer?
You know what? I wasn't there, but I bet Pat Wrights was contributed in some way. He got those players going.
I mean, it wasn't just a bit of a win either. It was an emphatic win, wasn't it? 94-70.
Yeah, they went for him. They really went for him. But you know what? They were at the end of the first break. They were up by 13 points.
Yeah. And they were missing potentially some players. Some people didn't get the minutes that you would normally expect them to get. Like people like Matt Morgan, sort of 15, 16 minutes. Not as much as maybe normally, and they ran some more of the bench.
Taylor Johnson, you got to bring his name up. He was on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yep.
He was on fire.
They gave the crowd a good show.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned something you just said. I'm really glad. I actually saved the box scores. Look at this. I actually saved the box scores from all the different games because I was analysing the numbers. And damn it, I should have brought my laptop. This was so much easier on my laptop.
And your glasses.
But
You can just use this laptop right here.
look, I got this crap cup popping up on my phone. Do I want to adjust the time? No, I want to see what I'm trying to look at. No, there was a specific stat
Yep.
that I wanted to focus on, and there were a couple of key players. So you highlight Matt Morgan. So Matt Morgan in particular, he, against the Bristol Flyers, he was on for 22 minutes. Okay.
Right, yeah.
When they took on the Manchester Giants, Matt Morgan, 32 minutes.
Also, I just want to cut in. I'm just giving a shout out to the FIBA live stats again. So I use this is the second week I've used that, looking through those stats. This has made life so much easier because you can just go all the way along.
That's great, isn't it?
Look at all the things you want to see. If you want to look at it play by play or where people were or what the box scores were, it's all there. But
I love the box score. That's the mathematician in me loves that.
Yeah.
Box score.
Well, I mean, they've got all the stats on this side as well, haven't they?
Yeah. If you've not gone on the BBL website, check out the actual statistics per game. Are magnificent.
Now, I'm going to say a positive and a negative on this.
Can I just make my point? Sorry.
No.
Against the Patriots,
Yes.
Matt Morgan 16 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you picked up on that because against Manchester it's half. Against who's the other one I said? The Flyers.
Yes.
6 minutes left. Now, look, I've not seen the game because I thought that's that it's top versus bottom. That's over.
Yeah. 100%.
And I got really excited. Who did London play? They played was it Friday, Saturday? They took on, was it the Flyers they played?
Yep, they played Bristol Flyers, and that was 95-67. They decimated them.
It was an absolute.
Yep.
I can't say the word, but yeah.
I actually just stopped watching the highlights.
I was watching the game.
Man.
I was watching the game live, and it was like, oh man, I was hoping it'd be closer than that. Can I make one really good point as well?
You're saying it's a good point.
This would make watching home games.
No, I respect the confidence.
This would make watching games on YouTube much more enjoyable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Frickin' YouTube adverts. I'm watching a game and you got Matt Morgan, boom, through the legs. He's driving up. He's gonna dunk it. If you go to Tesco's today, you can buy. It's like, what? And I'm watching the 25-second video, and then it cuts back into the game, and it's like down the other end. I'm like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
And because I'm watching it on the PlayStation, on the YouTube app, it's like, oh, hang on. I have to keep rewinding to see what happened. So in the end, I just stopped because I was like, hang on, I'm like 3 minutes behind the actual game now. I want to watch it live. That would improve the user experience. Is the point I was going to make.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because just people having to watch something. If it's not a direct TV channel, I know we had this with the NBA app a few years ago, didn't we, on the Xbox? And it was not happy. It wasn't having any of it. And then it worked absolutely flawlessly. And you think, oh, this is fantastic. This was better than, you couldn't get it on the TV. You couldn't get a Samsung app or whatever it is. You couldn't get one. You could get it through Apple TV or you could get it for Xbox, but it wasn't on PlayStation. And then when PS5 came out, we jumped because it had it.
Yeah. Well, also all of the Warzone cheaters.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation.
Yeah, of course.
On the
Xbox.
On the PC.
Yeah.
You had to play PC players on the Xbox. So
yeah, that was not fun.
That was a good way. But yes, so if they removed the adverts, that would make it a lot more enjoyable, especially in the game. It's like if you want to do all the adverts, like in between the quarters, they do replays, which is really cool. And they'll do replays of other games that have happened like the day before or a couple of days, which is really good. But that's the time, if you're going to do adverts then, not in the middle of the game. It was just a bit frustrating. Anyway, we're getting away from the point. Matt Morgan, 7 points.
Yeah.
The big man, the centre. How do I say his name?
I'd love you to butcher it.
Olaseni? Alessini, 8 points. 16 minutes. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I was just comparing the time, going, what's going on? And I wondered if, I need to go back and watch the game. I wonder if they were playing more of the bench.
Oh yeah.
Or if the coach was like, they're down by 20, guys, you go and get back on. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a little bit of what things started going around saying it wasn't London's strongest team, for example, that went down there. But I think that's a lot of cack, to be honest, because at the end of the day, a win's a win.
Yeah. Well, look, let's also talk about the Plymouth City Patriots, because look, we got to talk about
Mason Faulkner.
You've also got Johnson, but also Spencer Levy. It's just an American forward who's recently signed, and he is again proving his worth. He scored some significant buckets during the game, and he was dominating down low. But on the boards, 13 rebounds, Mark.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Double, 13 rebounds.
I mean, that's what.
Sorry, did I say 13 points? 13 rebounds is what he did.
Yeah. No, that's what he said.
Yeah. Sorry. So 13 rebounds.
12 points.
12 points. Oh, what is that? Sorry, I wrote 13. So look, he's got a double-double. You've also got to mention, what's his first name? His first name is Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson, you got to bring him up. He had an absolute epic game as well. But yes, who's the man you said? Mason Faulkner.
Yep.
Is that who you said?
Yep.
Mason Faulkner with 12 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Yep. But you're missing one person.
One person?
Number 3, Mr. Wiley.
Jay Wiley.
Yeah.
So this was actually one of my favourite plays of the game.
Yep.
And what I liked about it, number 9, Mason Faulkner, the guard. What I liked about this play is it started with pure hustle from Faulkner, diving on the floor, halfway line. Just pure hustle.
Yeah.
So he steals the ball on the floor. What does he do? Behind the back pass. Boom.
Yeah.
Who did he get? I think he might have given it to Taylor Johnson. I think it was Taylor Johnson. I'm not sure about that one. But then Taylor Johnson threw it up for the big man, Jay Wiley, number 3, who then came in. Boom. Dunk. Great play.
That was a nice dunk as well.
I think he got 18 points, 0 assists, and 8 rebounds.
Well, you're not too bothered about getting minimal assists if you're putting the numbers in there. That's for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's an all-round team play. And look,
that's the main thing. If you look down the score sheet, you're looking at 18 points, 12, 24, 12. 13. Like everyone's putting numbers in,
and that's not the first time we've said that about the Patriots.
No,
it's not the first time we said that. But
to do that,
I didn't see it coming.
No.
I didn't see it coming,
Well,
especially after the Flyers' loss to the Lions. I didn't even tune into it. I just thought, it's bottom of the league.
I mean,
prejudge, and I shouldn't, Mark.
The Flyers lost 95-67. Like they lost almost by 30 points. It's a 28-point.
Who was that to? Caledonia?
No, London Lions. Beat the Flyers. Yeah. And you just think, well,
that's what I thought.
It's almost 30-point loss. You just think,
that was at the Copper Box.
That's between first and second. You think first and second, almost a 30-point loss. But that's the league. That's done. And then they go
at the Copper Box.
Yeah. Then they go to the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
And
Pat Riots. It's him. This name comes up every show. I think
some would say that is your favourite team at the moment.
Well, I don't know. Well, hey, look,
a mascot swung it for you in Orlando.
I've been talking about the Patriots all week because of this event. I've been talking about the Patriots.
If anyone was going to break that curse, I mean, what a way to do it. The team at the bottom of the league.
Great mascot.
Great mascot.
Team play.
Great team play. The great atmosphere and everything you think.
Great arena.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Huge shout out. And on this note as well, we're talking about the Plymouth City Patriots. I want to talk about, just chuck in there as well, the legend, the man known as Paul James.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen his numbers? So if you've not seen this, so this is the head coach of the Plymouth Patriots. And go on to the BBL website. There's a great article with him. Great article. And he's basically got 500 wins now. 500 wins in the championship, which is brilliant. But the stat that I love, you know I like my stats. There's only 4 teams that have won more BBL championship games than that man, Paul James.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, what a great stat that is, isn't it?
That is a fantastic one.
First head coach to secure 500 championship victories. And yeah, there was a great article on the BBL website. So yeah, I just thought whilst we were talking about the Patriots, we're clearly going to be talking about the Patriots. I saw that article, saw that, and thought, legend.
All right. Yeah, I had a look, and he did the Plymouth Raiders before he did. So before the Raiders left the league, and then the Patriots came in to replace them, both Plymouth-based teams, but separated. He was the head coach there. So that.
And you've seen him play.
Have I?
Yeah, you've seen him play. I haven't got it in front of me, but he was a point guard, I believe, and he would have been playing against the Portsmouth FC basketball club in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was point guard for damn it, let me quickly look it up. I want to say
Thames Valley Tigers, Guildford Heat.
Bracknell Tigers. Yeah. That's who it was. Bracknell Tigers. So yeah, he was.
It says he coached there, so it makes sense that he'd have been around that route.
Well, he played in the 80s to the 90s.
That's amazing.
He played, I think, for most of the 80s. So without a doubt, you would have seen that man play.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And you know what? When I thought of that, I just remember the Bracknell Tigers. They had such a fantastic kit, didn't they? Can you remember that? It was, you would love it or hate it, but in the 80s they had this pure orange kit.
Oh yeah.
And it had like black rip marks all down the side.
Yeah.
I mean, they were leading the way in kits in those days with that kit. I want to say maybe was it down the side or maybe it was going across, but I always remember, I mean, I'd have been a kid in those days, but I just remember thinking, what an amazing kit that is. And when I found out Paul James was played for the Bracknell Tigers or Thames Valley Tigers, that was the first thing I thought, oh yeah, I remember their kit.
Yeah, that it's funny, isn't it? Kits are such an important thing that you think about with any team. It always sticks in your head, doesn't it? Do you remember them? No. The people who played in that? Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talked about great kits the other day in another previous podcast. I would definitely consider the Thames Valley Tigers or Bracknell Tigers, whatever it was.
Quite original. I mean,
and that's from the 80s, and we're still talking about it, so it's got to be good. But Mark, look, the Plymouth City Patriots, Paul James getting his 500 championship wins, and Pat Wright for just being a legend. This is for you guys. We salute you.
What an achievement.
I am going to Plymouth, Mark. I am going to Plymouth this season.
You're going?
This season, I'm going to go down there, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm going to go down there, check out a game,
well, you'll
get a picture of Pat Wright.
Take you near there anyway, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I can do a trip down Cornwall and then work it out to
see the plant.
Yeah. I can work it out and see.
Go and see Pat.
See Pat Wright.
Whose signature are you going to get first, or a photo? Are you going to get with the coach?
Pat Wright's
or Pat?
Pat Wright's, mate.
What if it's the coach or Pat Wright's? You're going to get a choice of one.
Look, I don't know what the BBL setup is because we're basing this on the Portsmouth Force in National League Div 3, where the game ends and you just run on the court and you can kind of get access to all the players. But
I suspect it may not be that case.
I don't think it's going to be a, hey, coach. He's going to be like, this is BBL, man. Like, yeah, maybe. I don't know, but who knows?
That's where they go, isn't it? They'll probably think you're a streaker or something.
Yeah. But look,
yeah,
huge shout out to them. I mean, that's all I've been talking about all week.
Yeah, that is massive. I mean, going from the top of from last week to pick up. This is week 7, or that was week 7, rather last week. The Manchester Giants did play against Cheshire Phoenix, and I mean, the Phoenix just blew the Giants out basically, 116 to 88. Sorry, 18. God, my eyes was going. That's not only an emphatic win, but that is making a statement, really, isn't it? And that, incidentally, that was one of the wins that pushed them, I would say, into going to third place, taking over from Caledonia, because Cheshire again played Scorchers later in the week, and that was a sort of 73-91. So they had a good victory over that, but them pushing over the Giants, I think, made maybe a bit more of a dent, given that the Giants and Scorchers are down the lower end of the league, so to speak.
The Phoenix game, who was Phoenix playing? I'm trying to check on my phone.
The first
Your
one was the
Wi-Fi
Giants.
is what I would call crap.
Really? You're not on my Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, I'm on 4G.
You're not getting my office password.
I'm just trying to check this.
So the Phoenix played the Giants and they played the Scorchers. They're the only 2 games they've played this week. But it's good seeing I do like the Phoenix, I have to admit.
I always thought that would be the team you'd follow, like Cheshire, Chester. So what was the Manchester score?
88 to 116.
That's it. So the one that stood out from
again
this,
another almost 30-point game. Like that's a big deficit.
Yeah, I mean, is
when you look at it in the breakdowns, it's only sort of like 9 points, 10 points each quarter. Then you get to the final quarter and it was 30 points and 13. That was the hit.
Yeah.
It was a stretch for the first 3, and then they blew them on the last one.
Well, look, the man I want to talk about for the Cheshire Phoenix is LaQuincy. Is it Rideau? Number 3. He finished the game with 10.6 rebounds and 14 assists, Mark.
Yeah. And 7 steals.
Sugar.
Yeah.
But look, he almost got a quadruple double there. So 7 steals, that's amazing.
Yeah.
14 assists, brilliant.
Was it, you said Tim Duncan, you think, was someone who maybe done something like that?
That's the only one I can think of where
it sounds like the sort of thing he would, because do you know what? It's the stats. It's the rebounds more than anything else, isn't it? You know, getting that many steals and stuff is one thing.
It's
but
from a guard.
Yeah, you'd expect that from a guard. Yeah, he's a guard.
Yeah, I
that
think
many rebounds, like 6 rebounds, you go, all right, okay, you're keeping yourself busy.
I think Tim Duncan was blocks, rebounds, points, assists.
Yeah. Well, that's why they always flame.
And I think it was like 10, 10, 10, 11. It was something like that. I could be wrong.
I
mean,
always
that's just me going.
Russ Westbrook, because he always gets a triple-double. He's the leader of triple-doubles, isn't he, Russ Westbrook?
Well, Joker's catching up.
But that in that game, that was not your favourite.
Did you see that? Joker just surpassed LeBron James.
Yeah.
In triple doubles.
Yeah. So
anyway,
he's number 4 now. I like the fact you say, "Did you just see it?" We posted it on our Instagram.
Oh, okay. Did we? Oh, that's probably. Oh, right. Okay. Well, anyway, look, I want to give a shout out to my main man from the Sheffield Sharks. They defeated the Manchester Giants 92-73. Mark.
Oh yeah.
And number 5, Jalen Pipkins. He's got to be up there with arguably top 3 best dunks this season. Definitely top 3 so far.
Yeah,
have you seen his dunk?
Yeah.
Holy smoke-catron. This guy gets the ball from the top of the 3-point line. He does a beautiful. He's got it in his right hand, pass it over to his left, and he does this like, I want to say Allen Iverson move, Allen Iverson-esque move, gets past his guy, and he is going hell for leather down the keys to the left-hand side of the key, and he just takes flight. And I am telling you now, this is an NBA highlight reel.
Yeah.
What he did. It's the way he arched his back, ball in the right hand, right back, boom, hams it down.
It's quite Kobe.
Slams it.
Quite Kobe-esque, actually. You think he's got the handle, but then he goes up for that big dunk.
Yeah.
Iverson wasn't as
until you said Kobe.
Dunker.
Yeah, very.
But Kobe was very aggressive with his dunk.
It's the way he arches his body.
Yeah.
From some angles,
It's almost a T-Mac.
it looks better
Vince
from some
Carter.
angles than others, but there's one angle in particular, and you see the height. I think it's the one where it's on the base. The camera's on the baseline.
That was in Manchester, or was it in Sheffield? Wasn't it? I can't remember.
No, that's Manchester. No, that was in Sheffield.
Yeah.
That was in Sheffield. This is
so
the
they're
angle
playing
there.
they're
Bam.
playing
Look
the
at
home
the
game.
arch on the. What a shot.
I mean,
What a dunk.
They won that game, I think 20 points or something. It was like 92.
19 points.
92-73. So that was
Jalen Pipkins.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the Patriots took over the week for me because that's all I've been talking about was that win. But
Jalen finished on 13 points as well, 27 minutes. He put the time in.
Yeah. I mean,
Same thing again. We got 9 points, 13, 14, 9, 10, 19.
nice spread.
Lovely spread. Yeah.
But that was even though I would say that the Mason Faulkner pass was exquisite.
Yeah.
The Jalen Pipkins dunk for me was my favourite this week. Just so big shout out to Jalen for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to wrap up with the rest of the scores for the rest of the week. So Leicester Riders played against Newcastle Eagles. That was a big one that you were saying, talking about the Riders and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riders won 111 to 88.
I think Riders have got the Lions coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah. And, Leicester's always had a history. So obviously as Newcastle, they're two historically very strong teams. But that was a huge blowout sort of game. So we're seeing some big numbers in some of these games. We're seeing lots of high 90s games, 116, 111. So that's really entertaining to watch. And then we're also seeing some sort of lowing scores where you get like 70.67 Bristol Flyers when they played. That was a shocker. You talked about the Sharks and the Giants. Bristol Flyers did play against Caledonia, 94-77. That was a nice win.
Yeah.
And Bristol will be a bit disappointed with how they played against Lions. So
hey, maybe that was part of it.
I don't know. I think they will be kicking themselves. That was almost a 30-point blowout.
Also, the Lions did have a European Cup game tonight.
Yeah.
I wonder if the coach is thinking, you know what I mean? With
Rest
4
them for
point,
that.
Yeah.
And they're bottom of the league. But do you know what? I love that because then they lost. And it's the same as when you had teams like the Lakers lots of times have lost to Orlando because sometimes they've rested people or sat people down. And the Orlando's come out and played. And you go, I know they're bottom of the league team, but they still are a professional basketball team with professional players. If you give them a chance, they're going to score against you. It's not like, oh, we can ease off that much. So, yeah, there's not loads of games every week. Some of the weeks we've noticed, and I don't know if that's a consistency with the BBL, but some weeks you've got lots of games. Other weeks you've got 7, and maybe that's it. But unfortunately for everyone else, Plymouth pretty much stole the thunder from everyone.
Again, all I've been talking about all this week.
So this week we've got coming up Sheffield Sharks and Scorchers, Newcastle Eagles with Giants, Leicester Riders with the London Lions. That's going to be the big one. Surrey Scorchers and Flyers, Caledonia versus Sharks. That'll be a nice one. Patriots, Pat Wrights performing against the Eagles. And finishing up the week, we've got Cheshire Phoenix with Leicester Riders.
Ooh.
So we've got some middle of the road games coming in. But I think there's going to be
That's where the excitement is. Look how close it is.
I think Leicester Riders against the Lions will be very interesting after they've come back from that European one. But
I've got 2 things for you, Mark, to finish off.
Finish me.
To finish off.
Finish him.
First of all, I'd like to have a big shout out to Basketball England, Mark.
Would you?
You go on Basketball England now. You can now see the league standings. You know I like my stats, and I can go on and look at it. And Portsmouth Force top of Div 3.
Portsmouth Force are top of Div 3.
Yeah, they are top of Div 3.
That's exciting.
So that was great. That was great to see that. So yeah, so brilliant. And I wanted to finish it off, and I'm holding my phone deliberately because I want to show you a photo from a local league game. This made me laugh my head off. This is a photo from a local league game.
Okay.
And this is local league in the Dorset League.
Oh, okay.
And this is a team that the Portsmouth Fury played a long time ago.
Dorset.
It's the Salisbury Sons.
Salisbury
Sons. And
it's not the deepest Dorset.
I don't know who they're playing, but I think
So you do
no, they don't talk like that. Not in Salisbury. Jeez. So I think the Salisbury guy is the one with the offensive action,
Okay.
I'll say to you.
Yep.
And I don't know who the other team is.
Lovely.
But this is for you, Mark.
This is your pitch for the week.
Ooh. We all like a good kick in the balls. There we go.
That's the Draymond special. Did you see? Did you see Draymond get kicked this week?
No.
Yep. Basically, that's what he's known for doing, and someone did it to him this week,
But
and
look,
he went down like a sack of spuds.
he's gone to throw the ball, and as he's done,
Do you know
he's
what?
just used momentum of his foot. And the guy's been kicked in the balls. Look, the thing is, look, the guy who he's
on his toes
outstretched
as well.
on defense, legs
Oh.
apart. It could not be more painful than him. He would have been down for the next 3 days.
Yeah, he's not getting up from that.
He would have been doing the old.
And do you know what? Sometimes if you foul someone or you knock someone or whatever in the game, you feel like, well, they'll do it to me, so whatever. And, it's a sport. It's a part of an injury. You do that to any other bloke. It doesn't matter who you are. You're like, mate, I really am sorry.
Well, for that player, it was
Yeah.
game over.
That's
His game was over.
Get a bucket of ice. And, yeah, that's pretty bad. But we'd love to hear how you listen and how you watch the BBL. So get in contact with us, DM us on Instagram, or go onto our
UK Basketball Podcast at gmail.com.
Congratulations.
UK Basketball
So if you
Podcast
are listening
at
to this one,
gmail.com.
thank you for listening to all of our episodes. If you haven't listened to all of them, go back and have a listen. Tell us some of your favourites. Tell us what you want to hear more of. But I've been Mark, he's been Paul. Thank you so much for listening. We really massively appreciate it. Have a fantastic time doing whatever you're doing, wherever you are, at whatever time it is. Catch you later.
Good night. But before I go, Mark, if you are a badminton player, snap it in half with your knee. If you haven't played with it in 3 weeks, snap it with your knee. Let's get rid of some of these rackets. Good night.